G'day everyone, here we are sitting on the ground in the Cowan Sim 500E. We're going to just do a bit of a flight up the Kaimais in the newest sort of scenery area I've been working on. So we're sitting at the, I think it's the Huranui hut. I haven't actually got a set up with in the maps at the moment. I think they show up on the screen there with the GPS. But we'll just fly it while you wing it and just see what we find. So we'll probably go as far as the pinnacles maybe today, and then there's obviously a few other things like Cathedral, Cove and Castle Rock up the top of Coromandel, bits and pieces. Right, so we'll just lift it out here. Been a little while since I've flown actually. Sort of sitting in the middle of the Kaimai Ranges there. It's one of the sort of southern huts, I think, that one. Not as many huts in this area obviously as you get in the likes of Fiordland or Nelson or the Kaimanawas, but there's definitely a few scattered up through the ranges. Being able to see a pretty good view from either side when you're on top of the ranges is pretty cool. We're coming up on our first point of interest here, which is the, I'll just come around to our left here and climb up, and you can just see it out the side there, the, I think it's the weather radar dome. The views out across the Waikato there. And I think we have a bit of a quarry just around the corner here. Spops run a bit of a quarry on the side of the Kaimais here. And I used to do a bit of work on some of the farms around this area on excavators, so I used to see a top dressing plane working off this airstrip just up here quite a bit. It's got quite a drop off at the end of it, so I've added that in so people can have a bit of a go at trying to fly off there. It's not a very long strip by the look of it. There should be some huts just up the top here somewhere too, so we'll climb back up onto the top. May have overshot it maybe. Oh no, it should be in here somewhere. Is that it over there? No. Completely lost. Could be out on this point actually. Oh, I've actually forgotten. Oh, there it is. I spotted the smoke. It's quite hidden on the top of the hill there. Just a little hut, this one, and I'll go to, there's a bigger one just over the hill here, we'll go and land it. Bit of a clearing there. I think this hut just over the hill somewhere is in a bit of a slightish valley. I think it's the Te Whare Oki hut, which is quite a new hut by the looks of things. I think it's around here somewhere. There we go. It's a lot flatter up on here than flying around Fiordland, which I've been doing a lot of lately. Oh, not in the last week or so, but in the past few months really. Change my settings. It looks like the grass isn't working properly, because normally there's actually quite a bit of grass here. The in-sim, this is just the default grass I'm talking about. Oh, there's a little bit there. Maybe it's just taking a little bit to load. So this hut, yeah, looks like quite a modernish sort of hut, reasonable size. Alright, we'll just take off it to get out of here. Now we'll head for Wairere Falls, and once we've done that, we'll keep heading north. Probably not. I might have to change the time of the day, because it's probably not going to be the best look at this time of the day, because we've got the sun coming up to the on the east side, and it faces out to the west. Back across towards Matamata out there. Waharoa. Matamata Airfield should be just to the north side of Waharoa there. We're coming up on Wairere Falls, just out to the right. I'll just swing up and fly over it. A bit of a drop off there by the look of it. And I think there's a hut somewhere on the north side of this. I forget where they all are now. I'm clearly going to miss a few, but you guys will be able to find them. They are marked on the main map in the menu, so they probably should show up in the GPS. Probably if I look down there I might show them up where they are. to some slightly higher part of the Kaimais now, as we head towards Diaraha. I think the carry to Tahi Hut might be just up on the top here. That's sort of up on the a bit of a plateau above the some of the cliffs up near that peak, which is where there was a really bad air accident in 1960, so the DC-3 crashed into the Kaimais. I think it's still the worst ever accident on New Zealand soil. It can get pretty vicious weather through here in the right conditions. And as you can see out to the right, you can see all the way back to Taronga and the Mount. The Bigong Island out there, all the way up to Waihi Beach. I think that other hut must be just in here somewhere. It's got spectacular views of looking out across the bay, this hut. Trying to find it. Completely lost it. There we go. Flew right across it. It's good to see that Microsoft and Asobo for the New Zealand stuff have been using this mesh of the New Zealand Lands and Survey stuff, I'm pretty sure, because I've noticed that any area on the Lands and Survey website where there's, well, they say it's 1 metre DEM or LiDAR data, I've noticed in those areas in the sim it is so much more accurate than areas where it's not. As you can see, these clips here have got how much resolution is to the terrain there, because they're obviously clearly using it. They won't be running it at 1:1 probably, at like, as I've played around with it, and 1:1 is pretty good, but they're definitely using it to a point, which is good because it makes it a lot more interesting flying through the terrain. Just come and land down here. A little bit of a breeze, but definitely a bit rusty here. I'll set this one up like a bit of a, like they're doing some work on it, some maintenance. But yeah, you can see out to the right there, just the be a spectacular one to come out at sunrise and watch the sun come up across the Bay of Plenty. Right, let's get out of here. Trig up here. There's a couple of cool huts I think north of here. This will be where Thompson's track comes up. Just sort of, I think it's a track from one side to the other, and then quite a lot of four-wheel driving enthusiasts use it. Dirt bikes and things. I think Sentinel Rock is over this way, which was, I didn't actually do anything to it apart from put a rock texture on it, but it's pretty prominent even just in the using that the LiDAR data that they've been using for the terrain through here, which is really cool. I think there's a little hut in here somewhere nearby to it. Forget the name of it. This is the first time flying through all these too, so this one looked like it would have been quite a neat one to do an approach to when I was building it, so interesting to see what it actually is like. Let's do a little fly past first to see which is the best angle to come in. Looks like it's sort of out on a bit of a point here. Right, down there, and Sentinel Rock out to the right there. There's a lot of rock bluffs around here. It just seems to be part of the landscape through this area. We'll take off out of here. I'll just sight you straight off over the hut, I think. See all the little rocky pinnacles and steep little bluffs along here. This one up here, I'm not sure, one of these ones along here, I think it's Wahine Rock, I think. Probably a little bit more vertical than some of this, but it's still pretty impressive that how this data is showing up in the sim. It should be around about maybe four or five airstrips I've added into this pack, just so there's a bit more to do. They're mostly ag strips. One of them's a sort of like a forestry, I guess an ag strip, but it's in forestry sort of west or east of Tokoroa, which is quite a bit south where we are now. I have to come back and do a bit more exploring through here, because it's actually a lot more fun in VR seeing the detail to the landscape, using that how they're using the real detailed stuff. Now that I sort of understand what they're using, there's a lot more areas I can go and check out, because it looks like most of Northland's covered. A large part of the sort of eastern side of the North Island, the very southern part, like from Wellington up through Wairarapa. I think there's might be some parts of Taranaki done, and there's parts of the South Island, but doesn't seem to be as much in the South Island. Mainly just like there's a bit around Tekapo, like following the canals and stuff, and obviously the Christchurch Port Hills, a bit around Nelson, Karamea. I think there's a hut out there somewhere, but I'll save that one for another day. There's obviously a bit of cloud here when this was taken, because it's just got some textures over where the clouds were, I think. So we'll probably skip past Te Aha, which is that big high point out to the about 11 o'clock there. Oh, my view's playing up on me a little bit here. Skipping all over the show. Must have been losing tracking. So we'll just beeline it from here and head for the Pinnacles, and we'll park up at the Pinnacles hut. I'll call that this flight. Actually, maybe we'll end it at Cathedral Cove, because that's definitely worthwhile doing a flight to there. So we'll just get up a bit of speed on if we can. A little bit of early morning sort of fog still floating around. It was quite foggy here this morning in Cambridge, so probably just the remnants of it. It's pretty cool when you put it on real world sometimes and see how close it actually looks to the real thing. Possibly a little bit more than that on the western side of the ranges. Just come around a bit to the right, I think. There's another hut down there by the look of it, is it? Maybe? Let's have a little look. Looks like a hut. We won't land, we'll just fly past it. Yep, another little hut. Oh, it might be Delhi's clearing hut. A little bit of ground to cover here just to get into the sort of start of the Coromandel Ranges. We'll do a fly up past Table Mountain and then through the pinnacles, land at the Pinnacle Hut, and then shoot off to Cathedral Cove. Let's put a little bit more power on, no, not too much. Here's our fuel situation, still got half a tank. Out to our left is coming up. Down through there is the Kringahaki Gorge. This doesn't look too flash in this one by the look of it. It's definitely got the steepness to some of the hills, but it'd be pretty hard. There's a lot of it's in shadow, I think, on the other side where the real detailed part of the river is. That might be it there actually, that was a different river going, it was joining into it I think. Looking through to Pyro, out to the left. And I think we've just, yeah, Waihi's out to our right, I think is Waihi. Or it might be just up a little bit further actually. Got a gold mining place in these hills here. I think there's still some happening in places. Climb up past this peak and see if we can have a bit of a look into the Coromandel Ranges as we get up. Yeah, it's a bit of fog back there, looking back towards Hamilton and Waikato. Pyro out there. Just a little bit of that white cloud. I'm just trying to see where Table Mountain is. It's quite a prominent feature on the skyline, but I must be just not quite in view of it yet, or it's just obscured by some of that murky cloud up there. Must have missed that little area below me. I think that looks like forestry, but I was trying to swap anything that was looked like forestry into actual pine trees, because the sim just blanket coats it with generic trees. Yeah, those are definitely forestry. You can tell from the different colour on the aerial view. Looks like another patch up here I must have missed. There's just so much forestry through some of these areas, and like it's such a time-consuming job, like cropping them all out and replacing them. Definitely is worth it though. Like the areas where I have done it, like it changes the look of the when you're flying through. Instead of just being like that, you'll see where there's pine trees and things. It definitely looks a lot better, a lot more realistic. It's a pity that they haven't got some auto thing in their coding yet that can distinguish between pine trees on the aerial view, because of the rows. You think in the darker colour they should be able to, and then just change the type of tree that's on those patches, but maybe in the next version of the sim. It's got some spectacular views off this farm. May just skip a chunk of this flight, bit of this next bit, just because it's going to be quite a flight, I think, to get up there. Waiha River there, weaving its way through towards Thames. Might have an airstrip up here actually coming up on this farm up in the hills here. I think it could be this one. Yeah, I think it is this one actually. Just looked like a cool spot, and it had definitely had a marked ag strip on it. So whether it's used anymore is another story, but definitely looked like it'd be a pretty scenic spot to operate a fixed swing off. I think I put a cell tower up the top there too. It looked like there was something on top of the hill. I'm not sure what. Good spot for it though. Little short ag strip up the side of this hill. It's starting to see in towards the pinnacles now and Table Mountain. So not too much further. We're definitely into the Coromandel ranges now. Just trying to see where the Kopu Hikawai road goes through to Whangamata and sort of up towards the eastern side of the Coromandel. There must be it out to the left down in that valley running along the side of that hill. Oh yeah, here it goes. Crosses just underneath us coming up. It's sort of the highest point of the range. It crosses just here. Somewhere down to my right was where they had a big slip just recently, and it's just still working on repairing. Swing up past these sort of peaks just here. You definitely see the resolution in the landscape through here is a lot better with the that LiDAR data they're using for the terrain mesh. Quite a nice day up here, but look at it today. Still a bit of early morning low fog clearing away, but pretty nice. It's Table Mountain straight in front Oh, we'll just veer around to our right and head for the pinnacles. There should be, I think there's a walking track from the end of the road down there that goes up towards the pinnacles, which we're heading. It's a walk I haven't done, but I want to do it at some stage in the next year or so. Creek down there, but look at it. A funny feeling there's a track around here called Billy Goat Track or something, so it's obviously fairly rugged, interesting terrain. Some big cliffs on Table Mountain over there, just sort of quite square topped, with cliffs on just about most sides, except for it connects back to that ridge. And we're coming up on the pinnacles. I'm not sure if this one's even got a name. It probably does. Didn't see it on any topo charts, but it's just too good not to add. Bit of a rock bluff there. And we'll just go for a blast down through here where the main sort of crags of the pinnacles are. Just be on a perfect day, it'd be an awesome place to see sunrise and sunset, probably because of the view in both directions. Looking out towards Pawanui, Tairua. And the Pinnacles hut just down the little flat valley just down below us there, so we'll cruise down there next. A couple of people standing on top. There's the walking track coming up. I have a funny feeling this is one of the largest huts in New Zealand. Like, it's not actually a lodge as such, it's just a dock hut, but I think it's got a ranger's hut nearby who looks after it. Right, I think this is a bit of a pad for it, I'm not sure. I could see on the aerial it looked like there was some sort of a clearing just down the track from the hut, so didn't look like there's anywhere at the hut to land, so I've just put it just out a little bit. Good place to fly it into though. Right, we'll take off out of here. Now we'll head for not Pinnacles, we'll head for Cathedral Cove, which is a little bit up the coast, just up at just north of Hahe Beach. And we'll land on the beach there, and we'll call that it. Some pretty cool country just even through these little valleys and things to fly through. So we're basically aiming for the coast straight out in front of us there. There's some pretty steep cliffs actually, just looking through some of this rugged hillsides just out below us. Out to my right there. Pretty cool. Probably won't quite be able to see Castle Rock today, but it's inland from the Coromandel town itself, which is on the other side of the peninsula. Whitianga should be straight up about just slightly left of 12 o'clock. You can see below me some of the areas that would have been normal trees that I've replaced with the pine trees, because obviously it's clearly pine forest through some of this. Go a bit lower so you can see the visual difference. There's bush out to the left there, and then it sort of swaps to pines underneath us. Another river I must have not seen, but yeah, it's pretty hard. There's so many that Microsoft just doesn't accurately follow where they are on the topo charts. Must be almost looking out to the Mercury Islands out beyond the coast there too. It must be possibly Cook's Beach that I'm just looking at, sort of out about 10 o'clock, and then across to Whitianga's further in on the harbour there. This must be Hahe, just out to my 1 o'clock, just off 12 o'clock really. Coming up on Cathedral Cove. try it. Not sure that's very legal, but we did it. Let's come and land on the beach here and we'll call that it. And that's us. We'll call it there.